Hello and welcome to another edition of Oh My God, How Did It Happen? As you may have heard on the news yesterday morning at this zoo in Portsmouth, 63-year-old Mrs. Velda Sputum of Weybridge was standing eating a packet of crisps when a vicious man-eating tiger leapt over the bars of its cage, chased her for 50 yards and then mauled her to death. And the question we're all asking today is, oh my God, how did it happen? With me now is the manufacturer of the crisps Mrs. Sputum was eating, Mr. Gordon Gridley of Gridley Snack Foods. Mr. Gridley, I have here a packet of crisps almost identical to the ones that Mrs. Sputum was eating. And I noticed that although there is a list of ingredients, there is almost no mention whatsoever of the possibility of being eaten by a bloody great tiger.
Well, we didn't think it was necessary.
And yet it happened, Mr. Gridley.
Well, they're only a packet of crisps.
A packet of crisps or potato snack death trap. The catalogue of wanton negligence is terrifying. In May this year, Mrs. Edna Dinge of Worksop was swallowed by a whale minutes after buying a packet of Gridley's prawn cocktail-flavoured chipsticks. While 3 weeks later, 84-year-old Edwin Yam had barely opened a packet of cheesy potato nibbles when he was horrifically mangled up by a runaway cement mixer. Widow Mrs. Lucy Dysentery of Dorking ate an Oxo Chippy Crunch and was immediately crushed to death by a hideous...
Stop! Look, it's nothing to do with us. They're just ordinary, simple, harmless crisps. Look!
Well, I'm the type of guy that'll never settle down. Where pretty girls are, well, they know that I'm around. I kiss them and I hug them, 'cause to me...
Good morning, Mr. Sayle.
They don't even know my name, they come out a wanderer.
Morning, Alexei. Have a good weekend.
I roam around. Well, throw on my left, a man with Mary on my right. Jamie is the girl that I'll be with tonight. And when she asks me which one I love the best, I'll tear open my shirt and show her Rosie on my chest, 'cause I'm the wanderer. Oh yeah, the wanderer. I roam around.
Who's that fat bastard?
Tonight's show has actually been selected by the BBC as their entrant in the prestigious Iron Lung of Montreux television festival. So, to give it the act a kind of international flavour, I'm going to do an international cabaret act for you now with my little puppet, Pee-Pee. This is Pee-Pee, isn't he cute, eh? Yes. OK, here we go with the international cabaret act. Ow! Oh my God! Ow! OK, so anyway, I'm going to do this international cabaret act. I'm going to do this international cabaret act, and what I'm going to do is do some juggling and sing a song and stuff like that. First of all, Pee-Pee is actually going to sing a song for you, aren't you, Pee-Pee? Now get lost, you fat bastard!
Bastard, you got me, mate! Oh, bloody hell! Ow! Oh, bloody hell!
Oh, me bum! OK, so now Pee-Pee is going to sing a song for you, aren't you, Pee-Pee? Yes? OK, take it away, Pee-Pee. Nellie the elephant packed her trunk and said goodbye to the circus. Off she went with her rumpity-dum, rum-dum. Isn't this a stupid job, eh? Isn't this a stupid, degrading job? I mean, if somebody'd asked me what I was going to be doing in 10 years' time, I wouldn't have said standing under a load of hot lights in Shepherd's Bush with me hand up a pink hippo's bum. Mind you, if somebody'd asked you, you wouldn't have said you're cute for tickets to see a man with his hand up. I just get depressed sometimes, though, you know. Just get fed up, so I've just got to have a drink, you know. Actually, Pee-Pee's got a drink problem. Somebody's thrown his throat up. So just sometimes I wish I worked in the co-op, you know, and then I could just stand around all day going, no, we haven't got any of those, no. Anyway, we're going to do the big finish now. We're going to finish, Pee-Pee. You get ready to finish? Yes! We're going to finish with your big finish. You're going to do your fire-eating act.
Donald Towser Fido is one of the new city breed. Tough, hard-working and ambitious. Before most of us are awake, he's already up and on the job. For every morning at 8 o'clock, Donald travels down to the heart of the capital to shout loudly about all the expensive things he owns.
I've got a house in Fulham, a BMW with fuel injection, and an electronic window. 4 baggy suits, 7 baggy suits, 8. I've got a fully programmable compact displayer.
I've got 2 nannies, no 3 nannies.
I've got an automatic dishwasher.
But does being a posh person with an extremely loud braying voice mean that it's difficult for you to switch off and relax?
No! Not at all!
Madam, gentlemen, would you like to order now?
Yes! I have the incredibly expensive smoked salmon!
I have 2 smoked salmon, no 3 smoked salmon.
I'll have a 2 full of caviar and some unbelievably expensive champagne! Like a barge load of champagne!
The smoked salmon is a close cousin of the North Atlantic red salmon and can be distinguished from it by its more muted colouring and tendency to lie around on plates in restaurants. A habit it has in common with the male African elephant. Adult bull elephants are masters of subtle camouflage and can blend in skillfully with almost any surroundings. Another familiar figure in our towns and underpants is the giant Fijian spider, which can often be seen laying its large oval leather egg by kicking it out of the oviduct with its back feet. But the prize for sheer ingenuity must surely go to the Amazonian bald mamba, the most lethal snake known to man. It kills its prey with an elaborate series of explosive charges laid in the sand and detonated by a remote control device in its upper front fangs.
Being as dead famous and popular as I am can have its disadvantages. For example, sure, people want to come up and say hello and touch somebody that they admire. But you know, some of us showbiz people aren't crazed egomaniacs. So, hey, why not respect our privacy? Okay. Mind you, I'm actually something of an enigma. But for some reason, I've got this reputation as being difficult to work with. It's completely untrue. Mind you, recently things have been very traumatic for me. I've just been through a very messy divorce. All the way through the trial, the judge ate egg mayonnaise sandwiches and they squirted everywhere. So I went for a drink down my favourite pub, but it had been changed. It had got an S on the end. You know, like when your pub's called like the King William or something, and you go in there and suddenly it's called Willies, or Ziggies, or Bogies. Our pub now, it's called Nobbies. It's been done out inside like a VD clinic. And the pub, right, I mean, it's full of kids. I mean, like 6-year-olds, and they're standing at the bar going, 6 gin and Marmites over here, please, mate. And like the car park's full of GTI baby buggies. And the food. I mean, you got this lasagna, right, and they call it homemade. I mean, whose home was it made in? And I realised, right, it's the sort of food you get if you'd been put in a home, like a Victorian home for fallen pickpockets, or a home for the criminally tasteless.
I'm a great reader of Victorian literature. This is the actual original manuscript of Little Dorrit. And this is the sequel to it. Big Dorrit, which, as you can see, was never finished. But today,
The Byzantine structures of these works of fiction are being gradually eradicated by the new high-tech publishing revolution.
Well, the novels of Dickens have always been ludicrously overmanned. The fact is, we simply don't need 127 characters in Martin Chuzzlewit anymore, doing the job that Geoffrey Archer can do with a couple of MPs and a male prostitute.
Last Monday, publishers Proofrock and Limpet announced that as from midnight, they were laying off 259 major characters from Dombey and Son, and will be seeking a further 300 voluntary redundancies from Bleak House and Barnaby Rudge over the next 18 months.
Well, it's appalling, quite frankly. There's been no negotiated settlement, and quite honestly, this dispute is going to spread.
2 days later, the complete works of Dickens' National Executive voted on whether to ballot their members for all-out strike action. The result of the vote is as follows. In favour, 23, against 14...
But even before the ballot took place, Proofrock and Limpet had taken preemptive action with what amounted to a complete lockout on Oliver Twist, a novel now being run entirely by the management.
All right, my dear, I'm coming. Who is it?
It's me, Fagin, Dodger. I've got the boy.
Good work, Dodger. Oliver, my dear, how nice of you to come back to your Uncle Fagin.
Let me go. Let me go.
All right, then off you go.
Thanks, Fagin. I'm off to live happily ever after. Bye.
Bye.
Modern technology, isn't it a load of old crap, eh? Electronic graphics on television? Huh. Oh, that joke didn't get a laugh. Well, let's squash the comedian and then flip him upside down. Whoa, here we go. Oh, all this designer scribble's giving me a headache. In fact, any minute now, I think I'm going to be violently sick.
Good evening. We were wondering how in this world of evil and suffering we can survive without the spiritual guidance of our Lord in heaven.
Oh, yeah?
You two can live forever in paradise on earth.
Oh, right. Would you like to come in and talk about the Bible?
Fair enough then. Sorry to have dropped. Pardon?
Would you like to come in and talk about the Bible?
Oh, yes, indeed. Thank you.
This way. That's it. Well, we were hoping someone would drop round. Right. This is our lodger, Moses. The prophet Isaiah. Zephaniah, the son of Cushi, son of Gedaliah, son of Amariah. Habakkuk, you probably know. Jeroboam. And this is the man from the cake shop. Better known as Ephratitis of Bethlehem. So, what is it you wanted to,
Well, we'd like to talk about the Ten Commandments, which in God's stated purpose
Ten Commandments? We've got them here somewhere, haven't we, Mrs. Morris?
Yeah, I think they're in the bottom drawer on top of the needlework box.
Oh, dig them out then, eh? Yes, here we are. Now, which bits did you want to talk about exactly?
well, Nigel?
Bastard. Well, there's thou shalt not commit adultery, which we feel...
No, don't think so. Can't find that one. What was it exactly?
Thou shalt not commit adultery. It's just before thou shalt not steal.
No, can't find that one either, I'm afraid. I have got thou shalt covet thy neighbour's ox.
Must be a misprint.
No, he was always a bit right-wing, I'm afraid. You see, thou shalt covet thy neighbour's ox. Thou shalt own thine own council house. Thou shalt opt out of public sector education and shoot the odd pheasant. Thou shalt not lay with thy secretary as with thy wife, unless thou fancies a bit on the side and thy name is Parkinson.
It's terrible. It's getting worse than bloody Sodom and Gomorrah.
And number 10, thou shalt not take the name of Sodom and Gomorrah in vain. There you go.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Whatever happened to them?
You know, one of the things I hate is them marathons, like the London Marathon. I mean, my idea of a marathon is 93 pints and a chicken vindaloo. The ones I like best, when you see them marathons on the telly, the ones I like best are the wobblies. The ones who are going, oh yeah, this heart attack's doing me a lot of good, yeah. The ones I like best are the ones who collapse 3 foot from the finishing line and don't get their little medal to keep for always. I mean, you've got to be some kind of a knobend, haven't you, to run 26 miles dressed as a fridge freezer. It's for charity. That's all right, then, if it's for charity, innit? You can do what you like for charity. I mean, if Hitler had invaded Poland for spina bifida, it would have been all right.
Guide dogs for the dead, sir. Every penny sends a headless child on a holiday to the Costa Brava.
Have you got anything with a young nymphomaniac renting a house which, unbeknownst to her, is teeming with unspeakable demons in stomach-churning states of decomposition, who slake their evil lust for blood in a needlessly protracted orgy of mutilation and cannibalism?
Anything on that wall here, madam?
Thank you very much.
Morning, Bishop. What can we do for you?
Ideally, I'm looking for something in which 6 teenage bimbos are graphically dismembered by the school dance in a series of nauseatingly vile vignettes, incorporating respectively a meat cleaver, a dentist drill, and an electric buzzsaw.
How about this, Your Grace? Just in today.
Oh, excellent. Must run. I've got the hearse waiting.
Yes, madam.
I'll take this.
Robo-buggers from beyond infinity.
Yes, please. Have you got it?
No, I'm afraid not. We haven't made it yet.
Haven't made it?
Yeah, you see, the thing is that we make all these films ourselves out the back, you know, and we haven't got round to this one yet. We've only got as far as the box. Hold on a sec. That's a wrap until after lunch, everybody. Back at 2. Right, robo-buggers from beyond infinity. Right, now, I can do that for you in 35mm, or I can do it in 70mm with full Dolby sound, but that'll be £2 a night.
No, 35 is fine. How long will that be exactly?
Well, let me see. There's script development, rewrites, raise finance, crewing up, set and wardrobe design, lunch with Richard Attenborough, filming, editing, sound dub, colour correction. Wednesday afternoon?
I'll come back then. Thank you.
Right, yeah, bye. You know, anthropologists, scientists and that travel all over the world looking for tribes with primitive rituals, you know, up the Amazon and the Congo. But all they really need to do is talk to some motorbike riders, bikies, you know, because they have all these primitive rituals. Like, they're really bad for these primitive bravery rituals, you know. Like, I was talking to some bikies the other day, and he said, "Cool." He said, one of these bikies, he said, "Cool, we had a laugh the other day." He said, "Go blimey, knock it on the head, do what?" He said, "We went for a burn-up round the trading estate, right? Me and my mate on my bike, Arthur and his girl Lil on his bike, right? Drop down a cog, give it a handful, come round and roundabout. Doing about 70 miles an hour in second, right? Now, Arthur, he comes past me with Lil still trying to get on the back, right? Cool, I was laughing, my mate was laughing, bleeding funny. We drop down a cog, we give it a handful, we come round and roundabout, right? Doing about 600 miles an hour in 90 seconds, right? Now, Lil, right? Lil, she don't give up easy, right? She don't give up easy, especially not when the spark's coming off the bottom of her legs, right? So she grabs hold of the pillion, right? Climbs aboard and stands up, right? Just as it goes under a low bridge. Takes her bleeding head clean off. Caught, I was laughing, I was laughing. Bleeding funny. We drop down a cog, we give it a handful, we come round and roundabout, right? Doing about 12 billion miles an hour in 790 seconds, right? Now, Arthur, right? Arthur, he don't know that Lil's head's come off, right? So he turns round to find out while she's hanging on so tight. And he don't like it. He don't bleeding like it. He steps off doing about 7 zillion miles an hour, right? Goes straight through some railings, comes out the other side looking like McCain oven chips. Caught, I was laughing. My mate was laughing, bleeding funny. We drop down a cog, we give it a handful, we come round the roundabout, right? We're going so fast now, our molecules are vibrating, you know? Now, Lil, right? Lil, all instinct but no head, right? She grabs hold of the cow horns. She's now in control of a 650cc dry Bonneville, right? Twin carb, greasy animal with a lot of torque, right? With unerring if vestigial skills, she drops down a cog, gives it a handful and comes round the roundabout. God, I was laughing. My mate was laughing. Bleeding funny. We drop down a cog, we give it a handful, we come round the roundabout. We're going so fast now, we go through a time warp, right? Into the 25th century, right? I comes out the time warp round the other side. I scoops up Lil's head, right? And I'm trying to jam it on her neck as she comes past, right? When suddenly I hears wah, 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 wah. Old Bill, right? Clever bastard, Rover 3.5. And he don't like it. He don't like it. Headless bird driving a bloody great tool down the A13. I shows him Lil's head. He don't like that either. Caught, I was laughing. My mate was laughing, bleeding funny. We drop down a cog, we give it a handful, we come round the roundabout. Going so fast now, go through another time warp, right? Backwards in time, back to the Cro-Magnon era, right? Go past a load of people who look like SDP parliamentary candidates. Right? Out the other side. Suddenly I sees little blue light, Lil's head. Lil's head, little blue light, Lil's head, right? I goes, wallop. Lil's head is now shooting down the A13, turning round and round, going, whoa, 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 whoa. Blue lights like laser beams, kind of their nose and their ears. So if you're going out on your bike tonight, wear a helmet, OK?
Well, this autumn, brains are out. I've had mine sucked out through my ears using a special syringe. And as you can see, I'm now so completely shallow, I can wear all my Jean Muir dresses again. Later on in the program, I'll be looking at skirts and blouses. I'll also be staring at walls and ceilings, gazing into thin air, and smiling inanely at telegraph poles. But first, clothes.
Thanks, Helen. I forget who I am for the moment, but I don't suntan my face in case of stubble fires. And talking of fires, last week I decided to drop in on some guys who definitely need a whole new gear change.
Well, these trousers are terrible, look. They show every little crease.
I mean, the old cut of the outfit is wrong. It needs more taken away from the shoulders to give it that sort of blouson look. Asked to design a complete new ensemble for London Fire Brigade's Red Watch, I finally went for a pirate theme, combining a simple, double-breasted jacquard blazer with front-pleated leggings and French parachute boots. And to replace those jaded old-fashioned helmets, a choice of wide-brimmed fedoras and borsalinos. Just the thing to add some zip to a fashion-conscious fire officer's spring wardrobe.
So, what sort of qualities do you look for in recruiting for the modern fire brigade?
Well, a good complexion, obviously. The skin tone has to be just right. And a good bone structure is most important if they're going to look good in their breathing apparatus.
For normal house fires, I use a Clinique pore cleansing facial milk and foundation bronzer. If it's a real full-scale emergency, with lots of cameras and media coverage, I apply a full avocado scrub first, then gradually build up the total look with plenty of blusher and Sailboat Blue eyeliner by Christian Dior.
What about this one, Darren?
No, I wore that for the furniture warehouse blaze. I could wear this. I really bought it for a chemical factory explosion. You don't think it would clash with a domestic chip pan flare-up? No. I could always jazz it up with a new tie.
Now we've come to the end of the series. By Harriet, by Alice. And it's time to find out what we've learned. Have we reached some amazing conclusion?
It's all right, Alexei.
By Mark. About the nature of life on this earth? Well, we've studied every single aspect of nature.
Bye, Lex.
Bye. All science and all life has unfurled. And the only conclusion I've come to is that it's a funny old world. 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 We're governed by liars and hypocrites from all political parties. There's not one of them wouldn't sell their mum for a packet of Smarties. The air is poisoned every time that you rev your coupe. If we go on like this, the ionosphere is gonna need a toupee. It's a funny old world. 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 The simple-minded blame TV for sex and violence and more. Pretty soon they'll say the sky at night started the First World War. House prices keep going up, but mortgages are easier and easier. Still, this means you'll pay $100 grand to live in the drip tray of somebody's freezer, and it's a funny old world. 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 Ranching is destroying vast tracts of tropical jungle. It takes 55 square feet of grazing to produce a single beef burger. It's a funny old world. In Britain, 1% of the population own nearly a quarter of the wealth. It's a funny old world. It costs £70,000 to put a child through public school, and yet because public schools are registered as charities, they don't pay any tax. It's a funny old world. Through the actions of mankind, one plant or animal species is becoming extinct every half hour. It's a funny old world.
I'll go in there, sir.
The human race is destroying precious rainforest equivalent to 200 football pitches every minute. It's funny, it's strange, it's odd, it's curious, it's wry, it's risible, bizarre, it's weird, sardonical, sarcastical, it's mad, it's comical, it really is quite amusing. It's a funny old world.